Drip and Bee Hydration and Wellness is located inside of Circadian Rejuvenation Med Spa and Priester Chiropractic Office. Come follow me to the Drip Zone. Welcome to the Drip Zone.
I'm here and I'm kickstarting this Boss Talk on International Women's Day or Women's Day with the beautiful Micah Barbee. Now, Micah, tell people who you are and the reason we're speaking tonight.
Yeah, so my name is Micah Barbee. I am owner of Drip and Bee Hydration and Wellness, and we are talking to learn about, what is drip? Like, what do we do, and where we are located. We're in Charlotte. So that's what we're here for today.
So again, this is the founder. She's not just a worker or, somebody that's just filling in. She's the founder of this hydration bar. So first of all, Micah, tell us how you came about with the concept and what did you do before you established the bar?
Yeah, so I've been a nurse for 7 years. Kind of during the pandemic, a lot of my creative juices, along with everyone else bored, sitting at home, kind of sparked the interest in entrepreneurship and like actually wanting to do something about it. Cause I always had like the desire to own something. And so my goal was like, okay, how can I own a business and also like merge it with what I care most about, which is taking care of people, making them feel better. So kind of putting those two, together kind of led me to looking into IV hydration because I've experienced it myself. So from there, I noticed like, okay, well, nurses can, start this business and own it as long as we have a medical supervisor position. And so from there, once I knew that was like what we could do, it was up and I couldn't stop.
Okay, somebody said it was up. So, so we saying 2020 is when you launched?
It was 2021, June of 2021.
Okay. Did you do a trial run or work at other companies before you launched your own, or you just tried it?
So I did not work anywhere else besides the hospital as a nurse. So I have experience with pediatrics as well as adults in various settings, hospital and home health clinic as well, and school nursing. So just a little bit of everything in the field of nursing is what I kind of dabbled into. But of course, like that, getting all my skills in that foundation built in the hospital. I did not necessarily take any type of work for anyone to figure this out. I took a couple of courses that kind of helped give me all the information from the business side. And I also took a refresher to get some more tips and tricks and brushing up my IV insertion skills.
Okay. So was it difficult establishing yourself in this market as a Black woman and business owner?
Yes and no. So I'm not from Charlotte. I'm from Durham, North Carolina. And I actually moved from Austin, Texas to Charlotte the same year I started my business.
Oh, wow.
So it was very hard in a sense of I don't know the area. I don't know the people. But I'm going to figure it out by any means. And so I did a great job, I feel like, of networking, kind of put myself out there no matter who bit, like I just like hitting up all the gyms, other holistic or wellness businesses to do some collaborations, do some pop-ups. So, I think most people was really like accepting of, trying out this new service. And I feel like word of mouth and, people's experience with me and just also the service really make this like kind of just like ripple and, take off in the way that it did. So that's when I'm like, yes, it was definitely hard because I still am trying to fill Charlotte out and know all the places to go and all the things, that would attract this type of service. But I will say no on the side of like people really do see a difference, especially those who are depleted with having the fluids and electrolytes and the vitamins directly into their bloodstream. So that and I think, my personality is a little cool. So
okay.
that way I, was able to attract a couple of people, just, off the strength of that.
You have such a cheerful demeanor. I love it. So, with the growing popularity for IV hydration and vitamin therapy, do you think this is a fad or is it a need?
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. I mean, people ask that all the time. I wouldn't say it's a fad only because this has been around honestly since, well, let me put it this way. IV hydration obviously is something that the hospitals have been doing since the beginning of time, but taking it outside of the hospital setting, putting it in, the med spas and, inside of people's homes, I feel like that is more new in the last 2 decades. Like, I won't even say like the last 10 years, like, it's, I would say for 20 years at least, like, this has definitely been a thing, but it is becoming more and more popular in cities that well, you'll see it more in like the Vegases, the Miamis, and all those larger cities. And Charlotte is a big city, but it's not really one of those cities that like, oh, I know everybody's getting drunk or all these things and they're getting IV hydration. But I feel like because of the pandemic, it has made people way more health conscious.
Right.
So I would not say it's a fad because it truly does make people feel better when they are depleted. And it just, even just knowing that you have these vitamins and nutrients, because you might not be taking, or eating like the things that contain some of these on a daily basis, and our guts aren't, 100% clean, like no human being is. So this is, just a really efficient way to do it. So I don't think it's a fad because it's not going anywhere. And honestly, if anything, it's advanced even further.
You got that right. So, and like you said, for people who's depleted, this is especially for those people, but who else can benefit from it? Like,
so those who are depleted, I just say that because like they are the ones who might feel the difference the most. But anybody who is just, trying to stay ahead of the curve, like you might feel fine as like, oh, I know I'm going to be at a big concert or on a flight with a lot of people, or I know like allergy season usually kicks my butt, like, let me boost my immunity. So that is really great for, immunity boosting. It's great if you are recovering from a cold, flu, COVID. We have some drips that are a little bit more potent with antioxidants and a stronger dose of like vitamin C. And so each drip is kind of customized to help to promote whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Another thing, athletes. So this really helps with muscle. We have a power drip that's really great for muscle recovery, and also like building those like amino acids in your muscles that helps to like kind of rid of that lactic acid that builds up, causing like the spasms, the cramps, and all those things. So it can definitely be preventative, and it also can be like a fixer.
It's definitely a fixer. So tell us about the licensed professionals that you have working at your facility for clients that might be hesitant or dealing with other medical illnesses that need reassurance that they can use your drips.
Yeah, for sure. So everyone, all the employees here, they are licensed, registered nurses. We also have a supervising physician who makes sure all of our orders are, in place for each client. As far as from a medical standpoint, anyone really, can get this service, right? But we are very particular about who we will serve. So if someone has like some chronic kidney issues or some major heart disease or history, we don't want to necessarily infuse them. Not that they can't get fluids, because they would get it in the hospital, but the difference between getting it here in the hospital, you are on a monitor, you're getting labs like around the clock. And so those are the type of clients that we kind of, will recommend to go to maybe your specialty or to the hospital if they are having issues, because we want to make sure that we can provide like the best service and have all the resources. And most of our resources are for those who can have chronic conditions, but we really kind of try and stay away from the those who are not able to properly excrete, because we don't want the vitamins to build up or the electrolytes to build up if you can't let it go properly.
That part. So I recently spoke to a cameraman at the Mad Miles Run Club meetup a few weeks ago, who is also an avid runner. He talked about getting hydration therapy before a race. Can you tell us about the benefits about that specific therapy from a fitness standpoint, and why athletes as well as the long distance runners should have this hydration drip?
Yeah, so it kind of goes back to what I touched on with our power drip. This would be something that they could do pre and post their event. So it really helps, like I said, that hydration obviously is key. You're losing all that sweat and electrolytes. So kind of putting that back in your body, and also like making sure that you're prepared. Like you want to drink water usually before, you don't want to go into like working out dehydrated.
Right.
And so this is just a good way to hydrate those cells so you can be more effective. And then again, like the vitamins that we have, we have magnesium, we have amino acids, and can't talk. Magnesium relaxes your smooth muscle. So this will help prevent those cramps so that you can be more efficient in whatever it is that you're doing, just basically increasing your endurance.
So so how is this different from taking the pill version versus getting the drip?
Okay, that's my favorite question. So I never disencourage anyone to stop taking, their multivitamins. However, the clear difference is that this multivitamin, that once it's, absorbed into your bloodstream, well, by the time it's absorbed into your bloodstream, you don't get that 1,000 milligram or whatever it is that it is saying that your dose is, because of the way our guts are. It's going to break down before it gets to your bloodstream. Some of it will.
Right.
Again, especially those don't have like the best diet, things like that, which is honestly most of us. It's definitely me. So it's like that multivitamin breaks down, and certain vitamins don't absorb as well orally versus intravenously. Now you do have some vitamins like B12 that is absorbed like sublingual, which is underneath the tongue, so that can dissolve. So those are things that's on a little bit more, I would recommend, opposed to just an oral supplement if you're deficient in a certain vitamin. But the great thing about IV hydration is that these all vitamins are water soluble. So once it gets into your bloodstream, and fills up your cells for what it needs, and what it doesn't need, you just excrete it out. And that's kind of like where I go back to, like, making sure your kidneys are healthy so that you can get rid of what you don't need, because you might not need as much vitamin C this day because you had like 20 oranges. So things like that. Our bodies are smart enough to like kind of do this check and balance thing. So that's why I say IV hydration, especially for those who have like gastric bypass and sleeves, like their stomach, is basically, cut in half. It's much smaller, so they can absorb what their bodies truly need. So that would be like a primary difference.
A big difference. So you offer something for us middle-aged women, aging backwards, and the vitality of it all. Tell us about that specific drip.
So we kind of have like two. So we have a Glow Getter drip. It's very mild. That is something that has the biotin. It has your vitamin C. It also has we include glutathione. And so glutathione is like one of my favorite antioxidants because it's the master antioxidant. It's considered anti-aging. It's considered immunity boosting, and it's considered a liver detox because of the way it works. It sticks to other toxins while it's in your body, and when it's excreted from your body, it actually pulls other toxins out. So this is great for anti-aging, and glutathione is actually something you can add to any drip. And then another drip that is a more intense anti-aging is something called NAD. So that is an infusion that it takes a little bit longer to infuse because of how much it works to renew your cells and repair your DNA. And so, it's pretty intense. And when I say intense, it's not the most comfortable drip. That's why it has to be infused over a slow time, because it makes your cells so excitable. And this excitability can cause more physiological responses, like you feel like a little warm and, flushed, or tingly or kind of nauseous. So it's not like,
like going to menopause.
Yeah, I'm like a lot of people, and it only happens during the drip. Once the drip is over, you're back fine. But this is also a drip that you want to get consistently to see those results. Some places will actually use it in treatment centers for recovery and things of that nature for those who might have withdrawal symptoms. So depending on how often and how close you spread it apart, like a piece of hair floating, that one can be really great for anti-aging. And I will say the anti-aging effects for people that are interested in and they're doing it, they're just feeling more rejuvenated. I won't say it's from a look standpoint, it's more of a feel, clearing off that brain fog. So yeah, it's a nice hard reset is what I would call and describe NAD.
A hard reset. Mm-hmm. So I saw you administer Lipo Dissolve. Can you tell our viewers about that?
Yes, that's our fan favorite right now. So Lipo Dissolve is a more for body sculpting and contouring, and it's basically a non-surgical version of liposuction. What we administer is a substance called PCDC, which our body already naturally creates. However, just like all the other things science has been able to replicate out of our body, it can do that with PCDC, and we can actually target it in certain fat cells. So if you have some arm fat, or that it's just kind of hard to get rid of, or the love handles, the back fat, we can actually do just multiple mini injections in those areas with just a little amount of the PCDC, and that fat actually dissolves. It inflames and it does swell, and it will cause some tenderness for a couple of days after. But once it does what it needs to do, it actually will go into your lymphatic system and drain out and flush just like waste. The best way to help get rid of that and expedite your results is to stay hydrated and drink as much fluids and get a drip. So that is a really good result, return on your results whenever you do at least 2 or more sessions, depending on how much area we're trying to cover. And then also what your goal is. Some people, I just want it to go down, but I don't have to be flat. Or I'm okay with a little jiggle, but I got a lot of jiggle. So it just, it's kind of viewer's discretion, because sometimes I look at my clients and, sometimes people might look at me and oh, you don't need to lose weight, or you don't need to do that. I'm you don't see what I see. So I listen to the clients and their needs, and also, making sure we're matching our clinical expertise, because I'm never going to sell you something or want you to purchase anything that I don't feel is one, clinically safe for you, and two, it just would not be effective. So yeah.
Right. Now, my next question, I'm pretty sure you've gotten this before, but I was always told that when you move fat unnaturally, it redistributes somewhere else. Is this a myth? And how do you keep that from coming back?
Yeah, so that's true. Just our favorite question that we get especially for our semaglutide, which I'm sure you've heard of, Ozempic, Wegovy. That has been, again, another fan favorite. And the big question is, will I gain it back? Will it come back? And so even I can kind of answer the same thing with Lipo Dissolve, even though they are two different things. One is weight loss, one is more so body sculpting. But I will say, if you're not maintaining, doing what you need to do to maintain, you can definitely gain that weight back in new areas or old areas. It's kind of your effort. So a lot of times I tell people this is, whether it's the Lipo Dissolve or the semaglutide, it is also you can't just rely on these things without making the proper lifestyle changes. That is what I make sure that they understand, so yeah, so to answer your question, essentially, yes, it can if you don't do your part.
Do your part, guys. Okay. So my next question, you have a busy slate for March. You got a lot going on. Tell us about your campaign to administer 1,000 drips by April. And by what means are you willing to do that?
So I don't sleep. No, yeah, we definitely have some big goals, and, we definitely accomplished some big things just in our first year. So, with the mistakes and learning just as a new business owner, I know what I did last year and I know what I don't need to do this year and I know what I do need to do this year. And so implementing those things, I see double the clients. You know, I see a lot of things moving in a different way. We only had two nurses like kind of starting out last year that weren't really like working as much, because we sometimes would have slow and faster seasons, but now we're at like four or five. So it's just like, it's just the team, that is how we're going to get there, not just me, because I won't make it if we see that many people by our expected goal. But we are doing really great. I love like the pace that we're in right now. Again, in a business, you have your ups and downs. But no matter what, we're going to stay consistent and elevate. So, no matter when it's slow, we're still here, and so I think that's what's going to get us to reach our goal of 1,000.
Well, you're doing some events too, so you're not just doing them in-house, you're traveling. So tell us about those things.
Yeah, so like I said, my goal, especially being new in Charlotte, is to get out in the community and, show our face, let people know that we're here. And we are doing some community events. We have an event this Saturday with Mecklenburg CrossFit Mech, doing their they have a bar crawl weekend this weekend, and we're just letting people know, hey, we're here, and also giving them some post-recovery drips from after their workout. So that's something that we're doing this weekend from 9 to about 12. And then we also have an event next week, and it's actually going to be here. We're doing some drip specials. They'll be announced soon, but it's actually on St. Patrick's Day on next Friday from 9 to about 2 p.m. And it'll actually be at our location. And it's drive by and drip. And so people can get their drips in the car if they want to kind of, make it quick. Or, they can come in our space, but the deals are only for here, not for like the travel services. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. And we have like another thing that we're about to roll out. We are going to be doing some early gender detection. So like you can find out your sex of your child, I think, up to eight weeks. So super, super excited to roll that out. Like I said, the lipo-dissolve, we do have a special going on with that. Your first session is 50% off when you book 2 or more sessions. And yeah, like we got a lot going on, but I love the rush. I love the, as much as I complain about constantly being busy and not sleeping, like I'm addicted to it. I can't lie.
So it's safe to say this is your full-time job.
Oh, absolutely. At this point, aside from also being a mom, yes, this is definitely full-time for me now.
So, and this is my last question, aside from, just your social media handles, but how do you balance motherhood and running a business?
Yeah, that is a great question. So fortunately, I have a child's father who co-parents with me, and I think we try and do a good job of like making sure that I try and do a good job of making sure that like anytime my son isn't with me, I'm putting all I can into work, and then when he's with me, like I'll miss calls. I delegate. I make sure that the focus is on him, and then somewhere in between there, I put myself somewhere in between it. I don't know where, but it just sometimes I can just like, okay, you know what? Let's take half a day off, or I that is how I try to balance. And I pray. I'm very religious. I cannot do any of these things without God, and I can't do I wouldn't be here in this place, in this situation, if my faith wasn't tested and I stopped. Anytime there was any type of distraction, whether I see it as a positive or negative distraction, I push forward, because I see these challenges as a test. Like, can you pass the test? Are you gonna move forward with this? And so to balance it out, I just feel like my faith and my God helps me know that like you're here for a reason, And so that reminder helps me to maintain my balance.
Okay, amen. You preaching the word, girl. All right.
I don't play about it.
Oh, because God first, and then everything else falls into place.
Absolutely.
So actually, I do have one more question. With winter, we're rolling out of winter, rolling into spring or spring, winter, summer, whatever. So like the hydration drips, do they change, or does the cocktail stay the same from season to season?
Oh, they definitely stay the same, because we don't want to get people confused and give them too many options. So we have our staples. Now, some times of the year we'll see more of a certain drip than another. Like I would say like fall, winter, you'll definitely see more immunity drips, more recovery drips. That's because people are sick, flu, or just wanting to be preventative. So we'll probably market that more, or either, maybe throw some sales out there just because like it's just like our favorite for that season. Now this season, I would say right now we see like people wanting to be well in the early part of the year. So you'll see more of like the detox and like glow getter drips. And then also just Myers cocktail, more so for that clarity and brain fog and that like fatigue booster. So that's something that you'll see, like kind of right now. Summertime is more so, it's just kind of up in the air. It's more so like your after parties because everybody's traveling, partying, things like that. And then you still kind of have like people getting sick. I think immunity is always just going to be the thing.
Right.
But yeah, so I will say like that's kind of what it looks like, but it's not one that, we bring out, besides our libido drip. We do bring that out in February for the lovers.
Okay.
But yeah, all of them are, pretty consistent year round.
All right. So then my last question for real this time, where can our viewers follow you? Do you book by appointment? How can they go and get a drip?
Yeah, so we're located in Charlotte off of Latrobe Drive, which is really close to Bojangles Coliseum area. Or kind of south of Uptown. So we are open Monday through really Sunday, but it is by appointment only. We are still a new business, so we're not just like, taking walk-ins, but we do appointments, and usually someone is able to either come to you or you can come to us. And so you can follow us on Instagram, of course, at DripMB. We also have Facebook, DripMB21. And then you can also always find us online. If you just Google DripMB, we should pop up at the top. And once you go on our website, you can book there. But sometimes it will say contact to book, or we'll have open availability. Either way, we have a phone number that you can reach out to, as well as the email address.
Okay, so that means when you say you'll come to them, that means you're mobile.
Yeah, so we are mobile. So we're hybrid. So we come to our clients. It is a travel fee, but we can come to our clients, whether it's at their home, their job, the gym, wherever we can pull up. And then we also like have opportunities for them to come here, which of course the travel fee will be waived if it's here.
Oh, wow. Okay. I love it. So y'all get with Miss Micah Barbee, not Micah, just in case I'm speaking too fast, okay? Get the drips. Y'all know y'all want to exercise and just stay in the game this summer especially. So holler at her and just drive those numbers up, because she does have a goal. But even if she doesn't meet it, she knows she's going to get business, and just go check her out either way it goes.